Okay, this is part 4. It's a testimony of a guy that was in Islam. Unfortunately, he threw the baby out with the bathwater. Became an atheist. But anyway, it lets you know what he experienced as a Muslim. He seems to be very intelligent, and because of that, I thought he'd make a good reference to how it is to go through Islam with fervor. So I'll continue here. His name is Abdul-Quddus. Who knows if that was his real name in real life, because he used to be a Buddhist, and before that he was an agnostic. Okay, I can do this. I'll continue here. Okay. Alright. Okay, here it goes. Man, every time you bounce off that thing, you have to go clear back again. I'm glad I'm marking these pages. My gosh. Okay. All right, here it goes. Good, it's still there. Okay. Okay, surprisingly, the greatest challenge that threatened my servitude to Allah came neither from criticism by Islamophobic Orientalists, nor polemics by neoconservative Christians, but from Muhammad's holy book itself. Muslims may interpret my doubt as possession by the whispers of Satan. Prior to my conversion, I had read merely a third of the Quran, accompanied by a minuscule amount of hadith. Since Arabic is foreign to the majority of non-Muslims, conniving proselytizers with the community can expurgate a compromising interpretation of the Quran. Conceivably, I had examined Islamic subjects more thoroughly. I likely would have never walked in a mosque, let alone convert. From my sincere study of Al-Quran wa Sunnah, at an occurrence when my credence to Islam and servitude to Allah was culminating, I would become disillusioned with an apparently incongruous Quranic text. Once acquainted with a bona fide Islam, I reevaluated my commitment and questioned whether or not to continue an adherence to the religion. A Muslim eventually stumbles across contestable matter in a Quranic ayah or hadith. Paradoxically, we questioning Muslims had to use the very scripture under scrutiny that advises us to seek, quote, the people of knowledge. Quran 16:43. The people of knowledge. I wonder who that could be. I'll continue here. Now, who are these people of knowledge you're supposed to go to? Alright. Because there's Quran 10:94 that tells a Muslim, if he's in doubt about the Quran, to go to those who've been reading the before scriptures, in other words, the Bible. I'll continue here. Yeah, go to the people of knowledge, Quran 16:43, are the ulama, religious legal scholars, the ulamai, for tafsir, Quranic exegesis or commentary. As one brother put it, you either believe in it, or you don't. Now exposed to unadulterated Islam, I would encounter a crucial test of submission. A decisive decision would follow, whether to blindly believe or independently scrutinize a book, quote, wherein there is no doubt. That's Quran 10:37. Okay, the strongest evidence and proof for Islam was Al-Quran Arabic, literally the recitation. As Muslims, we spiritually believe Jibril, Archangel Gabriel, was sent by Allah to bestow the revelation to Prophet Muhammad. In fact, empirically speaking, the Quranic definition embarked from the vocal cord of Muhammad's larynx to be heard by his companions' eardrums. If Muhammad was truly illiterate, without the ability to read nor write, then he couldn't adequately supervise the written compilation of the Quran nor proofread. Our faith was reliant upon the fallible Shahaba, devoted companions of the Prophet, whom were not scholars, to manufacture the Quran and preserve it. Devastatingly, most of the companions memorized the Quran were also illiterate, and an enormously significant number of companions died in battle before and after the death of Prophet Muhammad. Although the Quran was transmitted, memorized, and later written by men, I pondered, could it also have been tempered by them in the process? Religion being the machine and believers the automatons, while avoiding the monumental task of thinking hard, many Muslims would ignore any possible inconvenient truths and say, Allah knows best. Instead of a cold-blooded answer, the evasive response I'd received from the ulama were unsatisfactory. With the discovery of the Arabic Quranic containing foreign linguistic influence, I doubted the claim of its preservation in, quote, pure Arabic, Quran 16:103. Our Quranic text claimed to be, quote, an exposition of everything, that's Quran 16:89, and, quote, the book explained in detail, that's Quran 6:114. Yet the actual implementation of Islam necessitated the assistance of ahadith, narrations, the sayings and doings of Muhammad and his companions. Without a hadith, we could not properly perform salat, regardless if the creation of Al-Quran occurred by Allah or in the confines of Muhammad's cerebrum or cerebellum. An unbiased exegete would conclude that nothing, quote, new, unquote, arrived with 7th century Islam. Likewise, we Muslims postulated the Islamic belief that Islam had the same message revealed to previous prophets such as Abraham, Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus, son of Mary, or Musa, Moses, all of whom had the same religion. Truthfully, I found nothing revealed by Prophet Muhammad that couldn't be influenced by or plagiarized from existing sources, especially from the Judeo-Christian tradition, Tanakh, Talmud, New Testament, apocryphal works. Everything Islamic could be traced to pre-Islamic origins, from theology to pilgrimage rites. Islam attempted to abolish idolatry when Muhammad, like Abraham, who was once an idolater. I guess that's Quran 6:76 through 78. Became disillusioned with idolatrous pagan rituals. Prophet Muhammad beseeched the monotheistic deity of the Jewish constituents in the Arabian Peninsula, but not without undertaking a reform of their Hebrew religion. Evidently so, Moses, considered the greatest prophet to the Jews, is the most mentioned prophet in the Quran. Disdain for the Jewish people permeates throughout Al-Quran and Hadith. For when the Jewish people eventually rejected Muhammad as a possible prophet, he vengefully sought against them in heartache. This is why Islam harbors considerable disparagement and hatred for the Jews, a people exceptionally monotheistic, rather than Christians or Zoroastrians who apparently commit shirk, polytheism, aligning partners with God. With the epiphany that Al-Quran was not Allah's infallible speech, subsequently, with the epiphany that Al-Quran was not Allah's infallible speech, subsequently, I would approach certain aspects of the religion as man-made. I'll continue about 5 more minutes here. Okay. My expectations of a supreme being was in contrast to the conventional God of Prophet Muhammad. I yearned for a deity that was transcendent, incomparable, and indefinable, holy, and indefinable, wholly unable to be conceptualized. To my discovery, the Islamic deity was actually the generic anthropomorphic sky father abound in popular mythology. He was afflicted with psychological infirmities such as megalomania, melancholy, and malevolence. Allah suffered from ambivalence, claiming to be Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, the most beneficent, the most merciful, the most beneficent, while simultaneously being malicious or fastidious, like only making it appear that Jesus went to the cross when he secretly took him up to heaven, creating damning Christianity in the process. As an omniscient entity, he should have exhibited irrevocable authorship in his scripture, instead of acting capricious by amending and abrogating revelations like a fallible redactor confused about what he should have written initially. On the one hand, there is the incapacity of a man to grasp the nature of an omnipotent Allah, yet his will can be altered by exterior forces such as the effects of human prayers. I could not worship a God that changed. As just another idol, Allah was depicted and contained in the literary work of Al-Quran. According to one hadith, Sahih Bukhari, Volume 8, Book 74, number 246, the Islamic God created Adam upon his surah form, shape, image. As 60 cubits in height, Allah rested upon his throne, Arsh. Near his footstool, Kursi. He claimed to have an eye, Quran 20:39. Hello? Okay, I'll continue here. He claimed to have an eye, that's Quran 20, verse 93. Excuse me. Quran 20, verse 39. A shin, Quran 68, verse 32. A face, Quran 55, 27. A foot, Sahih Bukhari, Volume 9, Book 93, number 541. Even both right and left hands, Quran 39, verse 67. Surely there were many comparable unto him, Quran 112, verse 4. Discovering Allah to be as mythical as the elephant god Ganesh, or temper tantrum Yahweh, ooh, make fun of my God, was a devastating blow to my heart. Relying on Tawhid, the initial attraction to Islam, was ineffectual, for I now discerned Allah as fictitious like the rest of the idols. The God of Islam, likely just Muhammad's alter ego, displayed masculinity, anger, indecision, misogyny, and other moral weaknesses unbefitting of a majestic deity. Between Muhammad and Allah, there was an uncanny resemblance to personality. Similar to the 1939 musical fantasy film The Wizard of Oz, I realized that the wizard, Allah, was a fabrication concocted by a man, Muhammad, behind the curtain. Well, how's he going to escape Muslims when they find out that he's no longer Muslim? Is he getting hunted or something? Anyway, we'll find out in the video that comes after this. Bye.